This is an official legal disclaimer. The content on Awaken Wellness is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to be substituted for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Nothing shared on this show should be taken as personal medical advice. Always consult your physician or qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your medications, supplements, or treatment plan. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it based on something you heard on this podcast.
Feels like your colon is holding hostage for 3 weeks. Then when you finally get your flow, everything works and you can go. If that's you, you're not alone. And I'm about to tell you exactly what's happening because it's not random. It's definitely not normal, but it is common. It's not you just being weird. So let's get into it.
If you've been to the doctor and told your labs were normal, that everything was fine, but you go home feeling awful and defeated, this is a show for you. I'm Tanya Candy, registered nurse and health coach. I too am a recovering sick person. I spent the majority of my adult life on a prescription, doing everything my doctor told me to do, and getting sicker and sicker. In 2019, I walked away from traditional sick care system. After realizing that the root cause of my autoimmune disease and my chronic pain wasn't a missing prescription, it was me. And I had the power to make a change. Now here's what I want you to know. I'm not anti-doctor, but I am pro-choice. I want you to know that you have options that your doctor probably didn't mention. And you have every right to ask better questions. On Awaken Wellness, I dig into your root causes of why you're still struggling and what you might actually do about it. No fluff, no overwhelm, no pill for every ill, just real common sense, root cause conversations, and a tough, love yet compassionate way. By the time we're done, you'll be awakened. Now, let's get into it.
All right, so back to the comments. Let's see. Awesome. We've got some people with some problems here. That is what I suspected because I've been here in practice for 7 years and I learn every day from the people who walk through my door. And I've learned that this is a problem for way more women than I would have guessed. Their colon is holding hostage 3 weeks out of the month. And then finally, when they cycle, they poop. Let's get into it. Here's what is really going on. So every month, we know we've got 2 hormones running the show, estrogen and progesterone. Here's the part that most people never get told. Both of those hormones act like a relaxant, like a muscle relaxer on your colon muscle. The colon is a ginormous muscle that has that peristaltic movement that moves through your bowels and towards excretion. So it's supposed to squeeze and push everything along and eventually out. But for many women, for about 3 weeks out of that month, the muscle is basically being told to relax, take a break. Now, scientists have actually shown in lab studies taking colon tissue, putting estrogen and progesterone directly on it, and watching it physically relax on contact. So it's not just a theory. For a while, for me, this was a theory until I dug into it. I just kind of scratched my head and thought, what is going on here? Why are so many women suffering with this problem? Well, that's what we do. We try to get to the root cause and we try to find causes, also coming up with solutions. So, this is actually measured, it is observed, it is biology. So when your period shows up, estrogen and progesterone crash, and a different chemical or hormone called prostaglandin shows up on the scene, kicks in to contract your uterus during that cycle, during that excretion, that excretory flow out of your female system. But it also signals the colon to contract and excrete as well. So it's that prostaglandin that is finally kicking in. That's not a coincidence. It's the same hitting signal hitting two organs at once, right? So I don't know why I waited so long to kind of research this out. Like I say, over and over, I hear this from women. We're going to talk a little bit today about the different layers of why this is so important. Why so many times down the road, when bad things happen in the body, bad things like even, let's say, colon cancer or breast cancer, right? It is so many layers of possibilities of root cause issues that led up to this point. And chronic constipation is a big factor. So, no matter what we do in the healing process, we need those drainage pathways open before the body can really set the stage for anything else. So, it's been a big challenge for me here working, coaching with women is trying to figure out what is going to be that thing that speaks to that colon that gets it to give up its hostage and get women pooping every day without difficulty, without struggle. It is so important. So, hear me saying this loud and clear. If you're over here on YouTube, if you're on social media, or wherever you're on the replay, step one in anything is getting your system pooping at least once a day. In a perfect world, if you eat 3 times a day, you'd poop 3 times a day. If you eat once a day, you'd poop once a day, right? That may be a little like far-fetched, honestly, of a goal for some people. And um, it can be hard. It can be a process. It is not a one and done, this solution works for everybody. Now, towards the end of this episode, I am going to give you 5 um, different things that might help, things that you could implement, things that you could try. I would encourage you to book a root cause review with me. This should be a one-on-one question, and it should be something that you get figured out sooner rather than later, for sure. Okay, so big picture, big picture. Now, here's why I don't just shrug this off as a monthly annoyance. Your body has a system for clearing out used up estrogen. So we're talking about more than just constipation, okay? Stick with me. Your liver packages it up, sends it out through the bile, right? So you have that two-step process with liver. And Of course, we're really oversimplifying this right now, right? And some people have slower pathways there, some people need help even there. Right now, we're just talking about bile. So your hormones get through that stage, through the bile, into the gut, and they're supposed to leave your body through your stool and be gone, right? But if the stool is sitting in your colon too long with that chronic constipation, there's certain bacteria. They produce an enzyme that actually unpackage that estrogen and send it back through the bloodstream instead of letting it leave. So, research has started calling this whole system an estrobolome. I do believe that's how you say it. So that is a thing. And we hear a lot about people being estrogen resistant or I mean dominant, sorry, estrogen dominant. And what does that mean? You do blood markers and the markers don't fit the theory. The markers don't fit the symptoms, right? So what we make is one thing, what the liver does with it is another thing, and then whether or not it's getting out of the body is a whole separate issue. So I want to be really clear. I'm not trying to scare anybody. This is an active, evolving area of research. Scientists are still studying exactly how much recirculation affects your long-term risks. If there's absolutely more research needed on the clinical end and as well as on the conversational end. Just the what's going on with you. That's why healing in groups is so valuable. I have group coaching programs where we can talk about all of these things face to face, what's going on with each other. And it is just invaluable. Invaluable. Let's see. What is well established is that pathway itself. Liver to the bile to the gut and that reabsorption. That part we know that is solid. Another thing that I want you to hear is a, a colon that isn't moving comfortably, that is backed up, is obviously uncomfortable. It's something that people don't talk about enough. Chronic constipation. It is more than uncomfortable. But if there is that quiet recycling of those hormones in your body that's your body's actively meant to get rid of, that's exactly why regular weekly bowel movements, regular daily bowel movements are so important. Not just that period week where things finally move, where things finally get excreted. So getting that flow working, that bile, excretion, all of that working is actually a huge part of prevention, disease prevention later on down the line. It is a huge longevity factor. It's not a kind of thing that you want to wait and react to the problem once it shows up later. We want to be in front of this. We want to be proactively doing what we can to assist, to support that body and what it needs. So let's go through these 5 practical things that is something that you can try. Now, of course, we always say talk to your provider. In this case, maybe it's your OBGYN, right? Ask better questions. Um, See what they have to say about what is going on. What is this connection, right? Okay, but let's start with solution number one, magnesium. So, a lot of women, when they come in and this is the conversation, they'll say, well, I tried magnesium and it didn't work. Well, number one, what kind of magnesium? There's so many different kinds. Then, what about the dose? Could it be that they're just because of what the back of the bottle said, you should take the dose? Maybe that wasn't your dose. Many times we consider that a loading dose. Now, one thing about magnesium is you're going to be better off taking smaller bits throughout the day in different bites rather than asking your body to absorb a big chunk of it. It's more than likely not going to happen. That's not the way the body works. They'll call it bowel tolerance. So you would go slow and low until you become loose or become runny. And that is kind of your tolerance threshold. So, this is something I want you to talk to your provider about. If you are having 3 week constipation, I want to talk to your provider about their magnesium of choice and the way that you should take it. So work with your provider, work with your personal coach, right? Ask better questions. Number two is fiber. So we know, especially in the American diet, the SAD, standard American diet, there is very poor amounts of fiber. Fiber is most needed the second week, so 2 weeks before your cycle. That's when things are going to be the most sluggish of the sluggish. So we know fiber, we know hydration, right? Insoluble fiber. What does that look like? That could look like celery. That could look like apple skins. Your fruit fiber. That could look like good whole grain cereal. Now that can be hard. You're probably going to pay $10 a box for good cereal that's worth putting in your body, right? Um, what else? Inulin. I use a lot of Designs for Health products. I know on the magnesium, everybody's gonna say what's a good brand. So we use a lot of Designs for Health here. I really like them. Magnesium. They've got a few different blends. Some are tri-magnesium. Another fiber, Science for Health, again, I like their fiber. We also use Azure Standard. It's a food company. They have got a good generic inulin that is good. What else? Oh, magnesium. Sorry, I'm skipping all over the place. We used to carry it in the store. We don't right now, but I think I still have an affiliate code for them on my website, Mother Earth Labs. They've got a 7 blend I really like. Or at the store, we carry a 5 blend from Harmonify. I really like that as well. Now, I don't do any gatekeeping. I really, really encourage everybody to stop buying their supplements off of Amazon. That is Russian roulette. Just lately, there's been more companies getting bought out, like Thorne recently got bought out. Now, you're still going to find them on FullScript, but you don't have to be working with me one on one. I don't gatekeep. I will give you FullScript access. If you go to my website, awakenwellnessllc.com, go under the resources tab and go to FullScript. Then if you're looking for magnesium, type it in the search bar. You will find hundreds and hundreds of magnesium. Now, even during the week, you might find with some experimenting that it's not the same magnesium that your body wants throughout that each week to week. So Yeah, go ahead. What do you look at? Oh, that's gonna be there's some still half price downstairs
Okay,
or on the silk workshop.
it isn't on the cell course.
Oh, I bet she did a reorder. That's
Okay.
probably just downstairs.
Sorry for
That's okay. That's all right. All right. So from week to week, it might even be a different magnesium. Citrate, of course, is known for bowels. Glycinate is kind of known for relaxing. And if we're talking about a bowel that's overly relaxed, that might not be your favorite if we're trying to solve this problem. So there is going to be some experimentation on your end that will need to happen in order to figure this out. So we talked about magnesium, we talked about fiber. Now, number three, movement. More movement is always a good idea. So if you're on social media at all, I'm sure you've seen plenty about the vibe plates and rebounders, right? Like they're all over social media. So those things definitely can be beneficial. Some of those vibe plates you can sit on depending on the size. The one I have, if I sit on it, my butt always turns it off. So that doesn't work. But I do have a bigger vibration plate that I can use, I can sit on if I need to. There's so many lymph nodes throughout your bowel as well. So any amount of movement, self lymph massage, even dry brushing, and of course, well, this wasn't on my list. This would be a bonus. There is the castor oil packs. Those things through those 3 weeks placed over your colon or even over your liver. That might be a real thing for you. That might be something that your body really appreciates. So, movement, walk, and just even digestion walk. So, go for a walk after, especially your heaviest meal, 10 to 20 minutes to help that motility. Number four, now just stick with me on this and give it a try. Try cutting gluten and dairy, at least for those 3 weeks that you are backed up during your cycle. Why? Both are known inflammatory foods, they're known irritants. So if your colon is inflamed, then it's just going to be harder for it to work like you want it to. I know nobody likes to hear it. Go gluten free, go dairy free. But I tell you what, it is definitely better than being chronically constipated and worth a try. Definitely worth a try. So, the last thing, number five, is going to be really tracking what you're implementing and how you're feeling. There's lots of little apps that you can use for that. You can use an old fashioned calendar, old fashioned journal. You're going to monitor your cycle and you're going to monitor your bowel movements. You're also going to monitor your interventions. And after 3 or 4 months, you will be amazed. You will be blown away by the progress that you're making in your defecation, in your bowel movements, and even just tracking your other symptoms. It's it's so simple. There's really no reason not to do it. Now, in the case where you've tried these simple interventions and it's not working, we definitely have different herbal products that help activate that muscle. So they're a little bit stronger, a little bit more bang for your buck, so to speak. And that muscle is too relaxed. It needs help. It needs to be activated. Thank you so much for being here. Drop it in the comments. I'll check out the replay. I'd like to know after a little while what of these techniques is worked for you. Or if you're here and you've got advice that you can throw out for somebody in the comments, that's always appreciated. We heal in communities and we love to hear your tips, your tricks. Of course, I maybe didn't talk enough about hydration, but we know how important that is, and we know how dehydrated we tend to be. So, hydration, good minerals. So, where's the one thing? Where do you start? You don't need to start them all, not at once. If you're on the replay, you can reach out to me, private message. I do have a little download for this. I'll try to attach it in the show notes that you can keep handy. Track with awareness, support with intention, and protect your future, right? It's all about longevity. It's all about prevention and doing what we can. Some other things that I want to quick add that I think are awesome things to do, especially if you're one who is been dealing with this constipation during your 3 weeks of your cycle. It testing that I love is this a brand name. It's called a Dutch test. There are a couple of other companies that have similar. They're urine tests that look at where your hormones are going, what they're doing. If there's DNA damage that looks like it is wanting to set in. Others are a stool test where we can see what's going on with that liver, with the bile, with the pancreas, and also with that special process that I talked about, beta glucuronidase. If that's building up, there's a good chance your estrogens are not clearing. That's that little process that happens when those estrogen gets unpackaged and recycled. So those are all super good functional prevention and problem solving tests that we can implement. So that helps us ask better questions.
Alright, that's all I've got for you today. If any of this hit close to home, I want you to remember you're not crazy. Just because your labs say normal does not mean everything is fine. And you have options. Number one, start asking better questions of the doctor you already have. If you're ready to take the first step here, check out my 5-day free Fresh Challenge. The link is in the show notes. Just 5 days, no overwhelm, get you back to the basics. You can do anything for 5 days. And if you found value here, please like and share and leave a 5-star review so this show can touch more people who need it. Every review helps us reach someone who is still sitting at home thinking they're crazy. You can also find me live on YouTube. Search Awaken Wellness TV. Hit that like and subscribe button so you make sure you get notified when this show goes live. I'm Tanya Candy, and this is Awaken Wellness.